and because of technological issues and things of that nature. So we just thank you guys for joining us. It's Sunday, our team training call. We're going to be talking about accountability and creating systems for higher accountability for our teams so that we can be successful, right? And accountability in any organization is necessary in order to drive the efforts of any team. And so I'm going to have you guys come in and out because I'm going to be asking questions. I want some interplay and some interaction from you. When you hear the word uh, uh, accountability, what do you think of? What does that mean to you? What are some words or phrases that come to mind when you hear the word accountability from either George or Sheena, either one of you all?
Can you hear me clearly?
I can hear you clearly. Don't all jump in at once.
Okay. Um, as far as for me, the word accountability is as far as, you know, taking, um, accepting and taking, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm sorry. Taking responsibility for your actions. Hello?
Okay. I have no
Oh,
idea what happened. I have no idea. I think because I'm trying to get my screen share all prepared. But let's just go ahead and go ahead, Sheena. What do you, because I missed that. I don't even know if it was still recording. But what do you think, or what does accountability mean to you?
accountability means to me as far as taking responsibility for your actions, being accountable for everything that you have made plans and set goals for.
Mhm. And when you hear the word accountability, um, what kind of terms come to mind, like single words? You think, well, I'll just let you answer that question. I know some of George may come back in during this part, but is anything negative or come to mind or more come to mind?
Account- accountability for me as far as words negativity. For me, to be honest, no. I think
Okay.
that's a positive word for us as being an adult. We should take accountability for everything of as far like I said again, our actions. So for me, I look at the word accountability as a mature word,
Mm,
as far as being responsible.
absolutely. Um, well, I want to share something with you. We'll see whether or not George will be coming in soon. He's having some issues, technological issues. But typically, and it's been proven that most people, when they hear the word accountability, they hear consequences, blame, burden, judgment, responsibility, um, stuck, or punishment. right? Or there's this thought in your mind that says, who are we going to throw under the bus today? Typically, that's what people think about when they think of accountability, especially in the corporate world, employees. There's a negative association. We're talking about law of large numbers now, right? You're the anomaly, right? Most people don't think of that when they hear the word accountability, and so the reason why I want to bring this to you is because we're going to set up some systems to create accountability. Now, we've had this conversation before, and I'm going to show you some things that I've created, some documentation to help our organizations. I've created this for Team Wow. It has been provided for other teams or other members and business partners that we have. But I decided to go ahead and make a complete calendar for 2016 so that we can follow that and really, really, really look at the diverse progress that we've made so far and how we can push our organization to the next level by looking at the numbers, right? Because we know that in our industry, it's a numbers game. And so when you hold each other and share that information with one another, you create high accountability. And so when I looked up the definition of accountability, it says that the definition says that it's a state of responsiveness to others, answerable or bound to, right? A state of responsiveness to others. It makes you answerable or bound to, okay? And I just thought that that is something that's just so needed, especially when we're an organization where, or industry where we're not in it by ourselves, but we're in business for ourselves. It really, really works with having a system in place to help people to do that. Because some people will know what to do, they just won't know how to do it. And it's not always about what to do, right? Most of the time, it's how you do a thing that will determine your success. We've been listening to a lot of leaders in our company and our organization who really, really push that key point. And it is true, right? It's how you do a thing that will determine how far you go and how successful you'll be in with whatever you want to accomplish, whatever your goal is. And we know that over the next 90 days, right, this is the beginning of the year, January 3rd, 2016, over the next 90 days, we want to be one of those 30 in that audience that Mr. Michael Jameson spoke of at International Executive, right? So what we want to do is bring these systems, right, so we can increase the level of accountability among ourselves as a team and even us individually, right, because what it does is it brings problem solving, right, it brings communication, and it starts with us. So in with that formula, when you hear those things, you can be nothing but successful. And we want to do things right the first time, and we want to work smarter, right? Not harder, but harder, as our mentor and our coach always says. And this is the first way that I believe is best to tackle that, right? In business, in any corporation, in any company, they have documentation, they have tracking. And so I'm going to share the document with you that we're going to be using with Team Wow. And in no way are you to do anything, right? This is your business. But when someone sends you something to help you, it would only be advantageous that you would take advantage of that if you know that it's going to bring the kind of success that you actually want. So I'm going to go ahead and screens so that we can see this document. And listen, I hope that I don't get kicked out again. Guys, just bear with me while I tap into our Google document. Now, this will be shared with all the leaders in our organization so that we can start implementing it this week. And I will definitely share the document with each person, and then you guys can make sure that as the chief, okay, especially as the team leaders, you guys can make sure that you distribute that down throughout your organization. Okay. And we're going to see whether or not this works. Just give me 1 second, guys. Let's me share. Hmm. Okay, hold on. Just having a technical issue. So let me ask you, Sheena, what were your thoughts about the 7 o'clock call? What were your thoughts on that? Share your expressions.
My thoughts about the 7 o'clock call was I was at wow, just
You're coming in.
and can
Go
you hear
ahead.
me clearly?
I can hear you clearly now.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Just at wow, that the number that you know Michael Jameson was putting out as far as how many people joined and just giving the
Breaking up a
numbers
lot.
as far a lot. You hear clearly now?
It's very robotic.
Wow.
Try it
Let
again.
me see what I. Okay. Can you hear me clearly now?
Go ahead. It's a little sounded a little robotic. But try it.
Wow.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Um. Okay. Just just being wild as far as the numbers that he gave out that everybody joined. Just very enthused of our organization that we have, implementing and putting goals and plans into play to reach national executives and international organization. Everybody, you know, just making it, setting goals, and everybody achieving and and making money from it because it does work. Like we stated, in another conference that we had. Um, just here touching on, the little, not little, sorry for the lack of a better word, for incentive that he's, putting in the play of coming out of his own pocket, as far as giving that, the word I'm looking for, giving um, that motivation for organization to achieve, not being biased to anyone, just anybody that, achieve that level, he's willing to do something special for that someone. So, like I said, that was a phenomenal cause, privilege to be a part of it. So that's everything that I got from it. Right there.
Sheena, thank you for hanging. Thank you for hanging in there. When you say, can you say technical difficulties? This is so interesting. As I am attempting to get this together, I'm still listening. I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen here. But go ahead, Sheena. Go ahead and are you not there? Wow. So as I get set up and ready to share my screen with you, I'll just continue on since we don't have anyone on the training, which is typical. It happens, and so we just celebrate challenges. We do. Hello, John. How are you, sir? Okay,
Can you hear me?
I can hear
Can you
you.
hear me?
Yes, I can hear you clearly, sir. We are having some technical difficulties here, but what we're talking about is just accountability, and we have some systems that have been created to help our team members. Um, and the reason why, John, is because oftentimes, you go through a week, you'll talk to, maybe 30, 40 people on average. And what can happen is you can forget who you spoke with, especially if you're not tracking it. And so I've created a tracking system that will help to increase accountability, because what accountability does is it helps us as business people, just as professionals, okay? It's a state of responsiveness to others, right? It makes you answerable or bound to a particular thing. And so, though we're in business for ourselves and not by ourselves, we don't really owe any man, you know what I'm saying, all the rights to our business, but it helps you be more successful in business when you can actually communicate what's going on in your business, especially with a board. As we have structure here in TRV, we have board members. We have people who we communicate with. We have people who we report to, because it just increases accountability. And so I've created a system here that I am going to attempt to share once more, without any technical difficulties, and to give you a view of what this looks like. And so let me ask you this. Were you on the 7 o'clock call with Mr. Michael Jameson, John?
I was.
So share, I'd like to hear your thoughts on what you thought about the call.
It was another. To me, what I heard was focus.
Mm.
In short, to stay focused and follow that 4 steps.
Mm.
He was at one point he did say something that was different from what was said before. Not just the 4 points, but when you go to make goals, be goal driven. And when it's time for you to be goal driven, don't just think about what you want to accomplish in the next 30 days or maybe the next 60 or 90 days, but think about what you want to accomplish in the next 9 hours. Because when you when you break it down,
You kind of lost you a little bit, John.
hello?
I can hear you now. Go ahead, sir. Okay, the system must be horrible because I cannot hear you at all, John.
Hello?
Okay. Wow. This is interesting. Can you see my screen, John? Very interesting. Very, very interesting. I cannot hear you at all. You're frozen. Um, I'm just gonna go ahead and continue. John, I'm gonna put you on mute, just so that when you do come back in, there's no interruptions. I just want to go ahead and get this training wrapped up and finished, so that we can get this out to the team, so the team will know what's to come and how to prepare to help push and drive their business, and understand that accountability is something that is positive. It's a good thing, as Sheena Gathers had mentioned before, when she was on the call. You know, when you become accountable, you're willing to have conversations with your business partners. And who doesn't want to have conversations with their business partners if that's going to help them better? So let me introduce you to team, our inventory sheet. Okay. This is something that I created for the team. And as you can see, each person will be able to have a Google sheet. And it would be best to share with your upline, so that your upline and you can have those conversations about how to drive productivity and production in your team, in your organization. This is a year at a glance, okay, each month of the year for 2016. And so I want you to look very carefully at the different categories. It is color coded just to give you all, or separate the categories for you all to see it a little bit better. So here we are. This is an inventory sheet for January 2016 to December 2016. And thanks, John. He chimed back in. But what we're looking at here is a way in a system that you can use to track your business, right? Writing things down so that you can then have conversations about what took place from week to week. And so as you look at the categories, moving from left to right, you can see the first category is TP invites, right? Travel party invites. And there's different codes or abbreviations. So LC is a launch call. Guys, a launch call is a travel party. Okay, BE, big events. Home visits, HM. OO, one-on-ones, okay? And you're going to track this information from the Sunday of the previous week to the Saturday. Right, so every Sunday that we meet or have our team meeting, we're going to communicate and have a conversation and report our numbers to the rest of the team. So you will be reporting your numbers from Sunday today, January 3rd, to Saturday, January 9th. Okay, and you would track that and put those numbers in for the date of January 10th. Are we back online? Are we back online? We have someone that chimed in. Okay. Go ahead, John, and put yourself on mute. I'm going to take us through the inventory sheet. And so your team leader will have this document, and then he'll go ahead and share it with you. I'll probably send it to you since you are one of the chiefs as well. So you'll have it, and it'll be ready to be distributed to the team that you will then build as, moving forward. And so let's go back and look at, again, the category for TP. So you're going to be tracking data from Sunday of the previous week to Saturday, just before the turn of the next week. So for January 10th, right, you're going to be tracking your numbers from today all the way to Saturday, and you're going to place these numbers under the date for, or the date along January 10th. You're going to do that for each week of the month. All right. PS3 system, next category. We know that the PS3 is one of the four steps to success, right? Under step 2 for make a list. And what we want to do is we want to track our peaks. We want to track how many people were shown the plan and how many three-way calls. So let me explain that. So the peaks is you going to or sending a video link. Okay, that's a peak. Asking them a question. If money and time were no issue, where would you travel? And actually getting or extracting a phone number from them. People who you have shown the plan, which kind of can go along with the peak. Those who have seen a video, those who have gone to a big event, those who have had a one-on-one, a home visit, those people have seen the plan, a launch call. They have actually seen the plan and it is confirmed. So if you send a video, for example, we cannot say that we have shown in the plan if we don't get a confirmation that they've seen it, okay? And the only way we know that they've seen it is when we give them a follow-up call to then schedule that three-way call. Okay, so the three-way call, when that is scheduled, that's actually a three-way call that has actually occurred. It has happened, not one that's just an appointment for a three-way call, but one that has actually been carried out with one of your leaders or your direct upline. And that's how we document and record those numbers. The second section is the previous week results from that Sunday to Saturday. How many referrals? How many recruits, how many certifications for the CTC, right? Because we're going to be adding the certification program that's new through the university, the Vacation University. So the language just may change, all right? How many bookings, how many websites did you give out? How many miscellaneous, which is your activities, excursions, plays, concerts, things of that nature. And how many promotions did you accomplish one promotion, or what was the promotional level that you then went to in the previous week? All right. Now, one thing I want you to know is that we don't want to leave anything blank. If nothing occurred for that particular category, then you're going to write 0. You're going to type 0, right? The blank, because we want those zeros to speak. Those zeros communicate, so we can then go forward and have conversations. Now, the next category is next week projections. Next week projections. Same categories is a prediction. What is going to be happening, or how are you projecting or planning for your week? How many referrals do you know that you're going to get? How many recruits do you need, right? Recruits need to be based on your next promotional level. So John, right now, your recruits, right, you want to get at least 3. Okay, I would say probably 4, so you can meet your next promotional level, but you can also fill up your matrix, your first level of your matrix. Okay, next, how many CTC packages are you going to sell? Bookings, websites, miscellaneous. How many promotions? 1 promotion, 2 promotions. It's up to you. Okay, so that's how we deal with that section, and that's how we tabulate our results for that. Moving forward, here we are in the month to date. Okay, month to date. So we would only be recording results for 1 week at this point. Okay, when we come back on the 10th to record or report our numbers, right? The month to date would be the first week of January. So next week is commitments. Okay, commitments. So for this next week, right, you want to document what you're committing to accomplishing. You know you're going to get 3 recruits because it's based off of what you've done in the previous week. Let's just say, for example, you spoke to someone yesterday and they told you, well, my date to come in is on next Friday, the 8th. Well, that would be one commitment that you have for sure from someone, and you would tabulate what, 1. Or if it was 2 or it was 3, right? How many commitments for any new recruits that say they're going to be certified by a certain time? Now, we know that should be between 24 to 48 hours that anyone should, however long, that should be the time span or the time frame by which someone should get their certification complete. We said the first 24 hours. We know sometimes that people won't accomplish that for whatever reason, but we are stressing 24 hours. Well, we need to receive commitments or get commitments from when our newly recruited people will complete their CTC. Okay, you may have a booking commitment for, the following week. You may have 5 websites that you said you were going to put in, or you were going to receive emails on a particular day from certain people. Miscellaneous, you know how many concerts or plays or whatever have you, and then promotions. What will be your commitment for your promotion? And it's really based off of your projection as well, okay? And then also the commitments that you've gotten from the individuals or the prospects or the new recruits that you've spoken with, okay? This is for a year at a glance, all right? And as you can see, each month has all the dates that the numbers need to be reported and all the categories, all right? Next, we have the 4 steps to success. Now, this is just the entry sheet. I may just color code it just for easy readability, but this is for all of your travel brokers that launch their project with Paycation Travel. So this is going to help us to log and document when each step of the 4 steps to success is completed for each person in our organization, and document that so that we don't have to wonder or process or even use our memory to know what's going on in our organization. We can just refer to this document and see what was completed, what was not completed, and the date that it was completed on. The one thing that I would say, step 3, host a travel party. Or travel party, that may be something that's ongoing based on the individual and the commitment that they've made. So someone may have travel parties once a week. Guess what? A launch call is a travel party, a home visit or a home party, big event, that's a travel party. And if you have dates for when those people are going to be participating, or your new recruits are going to be hosting travel parties, and you want to put that date or those dates in the column for the date and what kind of travel party it is, right? Launch call, etc. So these are the documents that are going to help us improve our accountability between one another, the team, so that we can really, really be successful. I'll tell you, this was very helpful for me because I know that I'm someone who just loses track. I write things on thousands of different pieces of paper, and I lose track of it. And so I hope that this was very helpful for you, team. I'm going to get this out to all the chiefs, all the team leaders, and this is just We had a little bit of a technical difficulty, but we just celebrate challenges. And this is just a way to help us come together to be more cohesive so we can have a well-oiled machine, right? Accountability is the key. It's really going to help us be successful. It's really proven to be successful for teams and the growth of the team. And having said this, I'm going to close out the training tonight. I bid you guys farewell. And let's just have a great 2016. All right. Coach out.